All right, man. Yo, what's good, man? We're now locked in for another episode of the Genuine Effect. Man, it's definitely a pleasure. It's definitely something that's been long overdue. You know what I'm saying? My dog, man. I'm blessed to be in this position right now with you, bro. Man, it's been a great pleasure. I can't even begin to really get, I feel like I got to give you my dog. I got to give you the best type of introduction, man. Cause I ain't just saying this just cause, man, you know what I'm saying? You mean a lot to me when it comes down to a lot of stuff. Man, but Jerome Howard, man, 40, my dog, man, my big brother, somebody that's been a great, mentor, a great brother, a great inspiration, great motivation. Somebody who I look up to, somebody who I looked up to ever since, you know what I'm saying? I came in as a freshman at PV, somebody who I've always seen put in the work, tap in. It's a lot we're going to get into today, man. I'm excited about today, bro. 40, my dog, man. How you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing well. All is well, no complaints. Happy to be alive, blessed, highly favored, the whole nine.
Man, yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I really want to say, man, I appreciate you taking the time, man, to tap in with me, man. I know you be having a lot going on. So this truly is a blessing, bro. So really, man, just getting into it, man, for the next episode, so what I've been doing is making sure that I, just put the spotlight, putting the spotlight on people that I know who I see got a lot going on, who I see, is doing a lot with their own brands, man, especially with everything that you got going on, with dynamic performance development, you know what I'm saying, or DPD. Tapping in with everything, man, seeing you start from where you started from with it, man, me and you had a lot of conversations, bro. It's been a journey, man, like, and me sitting back and seeing how a lot of stuff been happening for you, man, like, that's part of what I want to go ahead and get into, man, and just tap in and just see how your journey started with that, man. So the first, kind of out the gate, I just wanted you to take time to tell us a little bit about DPD.
So yeah, DPD is dynamic performance development. As you mentioned, man, we played ball together at Prairie View. I've been around athletics my entire life. Just being transparent, people, you are familiar with my athletic accolades, but I had numerous scholarships out of high school. I was originally committed to Western Kentucky. I went to Prairie View. I still got records there. As a 4-year starter, 3-time All-Conference, 2-time All-American, SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. I have the record there for most tackles ever, and then I have another record for most tackles for loss ever, like in school history. But people see the finish line. They don't see, we take it back 5 to 7 years. I was terrible. Terrible. I was a late bloomer, or what I would call a head scratcher. I was so terrible that coaches would like sit to the side, like, coach, we still like, do we want to keep this guy on the team? Is he really worth our time, coach? What are we supposed to do with that? Yeah. I wasn't big. I wasn't strong. I wasn't fast. I was actually chubby. I was slow. I mean, dude, I was running a 5.6 40 at 160, 180 pounds, super light, super small. I might have been 5'7", but I had heart. I grew up in the inner city, so if you have nothing else, you're going to have great instincts, you're going to have heart, and I always had that dog mentality. But I didn't necessarily have the measurables. So as you can imagine, I went out and tried to find those things. So I don't come from a family with a lot of disposable money. As I said, I grew up in the inner city, so I was doing various odd jobs, including but not limited to washing cars, cutting grass, just doing whatever it took to earn those extra, the extra income to invest in myself, whether it be getting a trainer, going to this certain sports camp, doing these different events, combines, whatever that may have been in town, may have been local, that can give me that edge and help me improve my game. Unfortunately, there was never anything that like met each client where they were. It was always like everybody come in, everybody get the same workout. Everything is cookie cutter, everything's generic. And the people who are already good, I mean, again, the guys who were going to UT, Texas A&M, University of Florida, Florida State, the guys who are already the big dogs, those are the people that they use for marketing. This dude was running a 4.340 before he got here. So y'all didn't do anything special. This is just a dude that y'all used to market to your next victim. But the people who worked tirelessly around the clock and really, really needed the true development, we all left sad and tears and just feeling betrayed, because they're like, we're like, oh man, like in my mind, I'm like, dude, I just washed 20 cars to get here and I didn't get better today. Then I was like, all right, well, maybe next time. Oh man, same thing. I just cut 12 yards and I didn't get better today. So I was like, as I continued to doing those things, as I said, I was fortunate to earn the athletic scholarship at Prairie View. Unfortunately, my original goal of making it professionally didn't happen, but I did realize that there were a lot of athletes struggling with those exact pain points that I had. There are a lot of athletes out there who are the underdogs, who are willing to put in the work, and they just need that right mentor, trainer, that right authority figure like myself that can actually meet them where they are and help them become the best that they can be. You know, you and I've had private conversations. Like I've worked with over 50 professional athletes from NFL to NASCAR, but I'm never promising professional sports to anybody. I'm not that trainer who's going to tell your 8-year-old, your 12-year-old, oh man, he's guaranteed to go to the NFL, any of that stuff. I care about making better wives, husbands, and overall leaders of tomorrow. So that's my thing, is like developing your performance while creating the most dynamic version of you. Just because I train you and I train pro guys doesn't guarantee you're going to be the fastest kid on the team. Mm-hmm. But my goal is to tap into every bit of greatness that you have in you and pull it out of you.
And it's really just trying to tap in, man. Like, you really hitting a lot of stuff on the head, bro. Like, you know, like you said, us having a lot of conversations off the record, man, and just tapping in with a lot of different things, bro. It's really been a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, seeing how you really have, like, worked out the kinks with a lot of the stuff that you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a point that you mentioned, like, really starting off with PV and how we played that, you know, how we played ball. And like you said, you having records, man, and just seeing your attitude and your grind and your hustle when it came down to your livelihood as a student athlete. I was like, that's what really made, I'm like, all right, man, nah, 40 ain't just one of them guys that's gonna talk about it and just like, you know, because it sounds good. 40, like, nah, 40 gonna be the first one in workouts. 40 gonna be the first one in meetings. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna tap in. And then I knew that you was really, you know, and it was surprising, you know, for me, bro, to see how, you know, it didn't work out for you, you know, going to the league, you know, but the part that I really took and appreciated seeing what you had to go about doing with that, man, it's how you bounce back from that situation and what it is that you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? And seeing that, like, I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of younger guys around our age, you know, a lot of guys that's coming up, you know, in the athletic world or whatever the case, they may get discouraged in regards to like, okay, hey, they didn't go pro. And then a lot of people, you know, it's no judgment, but a lot of people kind of fall back, you know what I'm saying? Or kind of, you know, get caught up in the past, or like, dang, like they didn't make it, they didn't work out or nothing like that. Like what advice would you give somebody who, you know, didn't see their dreams coming from, you know, collegiate football or whatever sport? What advice would you give somebody, you know, in regards to not having their dreams of being a professional athlete?
Well, two things come to mind here you state that question. And first and foremost, I appreciate the kind words. All that stuff mean a lot. You know, it's always good to know that I'm able to impact other people. So that means a lot more than you know. Sure. But to answer your question, the first thing I would say is don't, you know, never confuse like passion and purpose, right? And I'll say that again, like, don't confuse passion and purpose. Like, my passion was to play professionally, but my purpose is to impact other athletes and help them maximize their potential, both on and off the field. That's my purpose.
That's all.
Right. And then the next thing I would say is this. Another slogan of mine is same game, different stadium. So I'm always trying to get the athletes to realize that everything that they learn from athletics can be applied to a much larger arena, the real world. So just because, you know, you aren't necessarily running sprints or lifting weight, like those same disciplines, those same principles. For example, you know, we would get in trouble for being late to pre-practice. Now, sure. If practice started at 5 o'clock, pre-practice started at 4:45. So you're late for being on time, if you think about it, right? So if you come at 4:48, you're running additional sprints. Yeah. But a lot of people in the real world don't understand that. But now think about it. Let's just use corporate America, for example. If you work at a job and you're coming to that job 25 minutes early every day, one, you're probably going to be far more productive than a lot of your coworkers and your counterparts. But additionally, you're also going to find yourself, you know, you're just undeniable. So now when it's time to get those bonuses, those raises, they can't forget that. Like, wow, Josiah came here extra 30 minutes early every day. How can you forget that?
Oh yeah, right.
Everything that, and then, you know, and even using another example, think about when coach told you to run sprints, and he told you to run 50 yards, but you run 48 and a half.
All right.
Now think about how that translates to the real world.
Now you're cutting it too close. You're cutting it too close.
Almost don't count.
Almost don't count. Real life.
In real life. There's a lot of people, think about when the pandemic happened, there's a lot of people who, you know, are getting laid off and furloughed, and sometimes they may have came down to two separate parties, this person and that person. And that slight difference with this person is why they kept their job, while this person had to call that, you know, that uncomfortable conversation with their spouse, let them know that money's going to be a little different over these next few months.
Nah, that definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense, man. Just trying to make sure that, you know, people putting in all of the, you know, the pieces together to where they don't get discouraged and to where, you know what I'm saying, like you're saying, not
Even
really
better,
not getting caught behind.
I'm sorry, not cut you off. Think about this. When you talk about mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the best lessons that athletics teach you is one, that everything's about effort. Yep. If you look at injuries, right? And I actually studied this stuff. Majority of injuries happen when people are not going 100%. Have you ever got hurt going 100%? Think about it.
Man, not going 100.
Yeah, every time you got hurt, you weren't going 100%. Right? Well, think about that in the real world, right? Yeah. So a lot of times when people are getting hurt, a lot of times all these things that happen, what athletics teaches you the most is this, right? Like, you can do your best and still lose.
Oh yeah.
You have to be okay with your effort.
Oh yeah.
Josiah, you can go out and pancake a guy 30 times a game, and we might lose by 3 in triple overtime, like we did to Southern. But you had to have short-term memory, go back and still reevaluate, take the good with the bad, and get ready for that next game, get ready for that next opponent, that next objection. Because if you dwell too, Northern would always say it, you know, we don't allow whatever the previous team may have been, don't allow Southern to beat us twice. Right, so you know, in the real world, you got to have that short-term memory. Sometimes you're going to do your best, and your best won't be enough, but you have to evaluate, learn from it, and use everything that you learned for the next objection, next mission, whatever you want to call it. Because if you sit in that moment too long, then look.
Now you're trying to figure it out, man. You definitely can't be doing that, because you'll start building up losses, and that's not a position you really trying to be in, man. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you kind of just, you know what I'm saying, transitioning, man, a little bit in regards to that, like you said, coming from, you know, collegiate and getting on to starting your own business, starting your own brand and everything that you got going. That leads me to my next question, bro. You know, and I wanted to ask you, man, you know, how long have you been on the journey of being an entrepreneur?
5 years. This year 5.
Year 5.
Slowly approaching year 6 in December.
Okay. What would you say some of your highlights, you know, throughout this journey have been for you? Like, what would you say some highlights of your career have been so far?
Oh man, I would say there's quite a few of them. One would be publishing my book, which is a best-selling novel, So Now What? It's available on my website, along with Amazon.com. The website is www.traindynamic, TRAINDYNAMIC. The letter P is from Paul, D is in Dolphin at gmail.com. So writing my book was definitely a highlight. Secondly, helping the Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier. Everybody knows the story. The guy was having, you know, I worked with him for 4 years. Every year I worked with him, he made the Pro Bowl. Our second year together, he made a routine tackle on Monday Night Football, got paralyzed. Doctors gave him a 2% chance of ever walking again. They thought he would just be a vegetable, just sit on the couch and just eventually die one day. You know, through the grace of God, because I don't want to take all the credit, because God was working through me, you know. But we're going to give it to God. Through the grace of God, we were able to change the story. And he's regained his health. Unfortunately, he didn't go back to playing sports, but he's 100% functional. He's enjoying life with his family. So that was another big one, just being able to really impact somebody on that type of level. Also, I've done a ton with Nike, with Lululemon. So I'm a Nike regional trainer. I help Nike with the opening and all these different things. So they paid me to do that. A different highlight was also like getting the Steelers head coach, Mike Tomlin. Like he has a video out. You can find it on the web, just literally talking about how he feels about myself, my company, and why he feels confident when his guys come and work with me, how he knows that they're in the right place. So that's always big to receive that type of recognition from somebody on that type of level, you know, the elite of the elite. Like I said, I've done a ton with Lululemon. I've done a ton with NASCAR. I've helped them prepare for both the Pocono Raceway and the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing you, you know what I'm saying, doing all of that. And I was like, man, he moving. He's moving.
God is moving. I'm just here.
Yes, hey, I love that. I love that. Yes, sir.
Credit. God is, you know what I mean? And also, man, you know, not making it professional as I originally aspired to, but then coming back a few months later in Prairie View, getting this multi-million-dollar stadium. And, you know, some people may say, well, that's what's supposed to happen, but there's a huge picture of me on the stadium right now. And that meant a lot to me too, because oftentimes a lot of these schools only recognize the people with the hype and the clout. And you know how it is a lot of time, once you stop playing, you know, it's always, what have you done for me lately? So the fact that they still, to this day, still have me on the stadium, that's, you know, that means a lot to me. That's pretty cool, because one day I plan on having kids and having a family, and just being able to show those, even if it's not there at that time, but just being able to have those pictures and those things to really show my kids one day down the road. So that's another highlight. And then most importantly, man, just being able to turn my pain into passion, bro. My pain into a profit. I'm sorry. And just being, because it was, I would be lying if I say there weren't some sad nights, some head scratching moments. That's my book saying. That's how the name came about. It's always like, so now what? I was the first in my family to graduate, so I was like, what do you do? Like, everybody just said get a degree, but nobody ever had a blueprint as to what happens next, because nobody's ever been to that spot. Nobody's ever been to that, But again, man, God is good.
Nah, man. Hey, he truly is, bro.
God is great. Good as good.
Yeah, I'm about to say
God
man.
Great.
He's great, amazing.
Good as for humans. God is great.
We don't have too many adjectives to where we could really describe him, man. Like, but now I'm with you, man. And it's crazy. I noticed that you spoke on, not always going the way that you pretty much envisioned it. You know what I'm saying? And that actually literally brings me to my next question, bro. And I wanted to ask you, man, what are some challenges that came along, with the journey of you being an entrepreneur and everything that you have got going with your brand?
There's a lot. I think the hardest part really is understanding boundaries. Mm-hmm. There's also going to be pricing, a lot of, let's just say, getting over self-limiting beliefs, right? So for example, when you start off, even if you're doing good, you still want, in your mind, you created your own block. So it's like getting out of your own head. You're like, oh man, I don't want to charge them this much. I don't want to do that. I don't want, as I said, like for myself, growing up in the inner city, I knew there were certain things that I couldn't necessarily afford. So at one time I was feeling like I was a sellout for charging people a certain price that I couldn't afford. But then I had to remember, over the time I learned that like I'm delivering a value and delivering a service that I didn't have access to. Yeah. So it's not like people weren't doing the things that I'm doing now. People aren't being able to rehab athletes and get people from being paralyzed and help people prevent injuries and go out and like, I've been in Texas 10 months now, and 95% of my athletes are having career best seasons. I got track athletes who they going back, and I got track athletes now who run their career best times, and we've only worked out for 90 days, and they run the fastest they ever ran. I got athletes gaining 6 and 12 pounds of muscle, and I got a guy drop 6 seconds off his 40-yard dash. So again, I'm delivering a value that others weren't delivering. So it's like just not getting out of your own head. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think also, like I said, boundaries are good, because oftentimes people will, try to get over on you. People will try to like play you close, as I like to call it, like pretend to be your friend, or try to, so just putting those boundaries in place and realizing that this is your job, this is your profession, and treating it as such. You can be personable. Like I'm very personable with my clients, but I have no desire to go to brunch with my clients and smoke hookahs and go to the bar, drinking 1942s and all that. That's not, what I mean? So it's like understanding those things too, especially like working with a lot of professional athletes, because there is some things that you're like, oh man, that would be pretty cool. I've never done that before, but it's still like, just always being professional.
Always being professional.
The boundaries, boundaries are big, just learning boundaries. Getting over those self-limiting beliefs, especially when it comes to pricing.
Mm-hmm. And just trying to tap in. It definitely makes sense, man. Like, and hearing you talk, bro, it actually made me think of something that my mom and like my grandmother kind of always told me growing up too, because I definitely had, dreams of going to the league. I'm a hooper at heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I love basketball, you know what I'm saying? I get on the court. But I truly saw where God, designed my life and my path to pretty much go down with getting in with football. And not only at the time, I was like, man, like, okay, I don't want to do football, but it was a bigger purpose for what it is that he wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is just me and my journey, getting here to PV, man, like on a football scholarship. I never would have thought that I would have gotten a football scholarship to go to college and play ball. You know what I'm saying? Being from Baton Rouge, man, just understanding how it is and not just from Baton Rouge, man, just from all kind of cities, all kind of different things that people got going on, bro. And, I had the desire to want to do it. And my mom and my grandma and them, used to always, my cousins, my uncles, but my mama really always was just tapping in and was like, even if your dreams don't work out, Joe, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't go to the league and actually play on the team, doesn't mean that you still can't work your way to actually working for the team. You know what I'm saying? I actually working in the office of the team. I actually, training people, actually coaching players and stuff like that. And my mom used to always tell me that, bro. And I was like, at the time when I was young, I was just like, Ma, I feel you. I'm going to the league. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tap in like that. But the more I got older, bro, the more I just started realizing, you know what I'm saying, real life. I personally made the choice to walk away from football after I was, done from with college at PV. And I was okay with that, man. Like, I was okay with it. And I know everybody's journey different. But seeing, like I said, your story, bro, like to see how, like I said, man, and for me, bro, you know what I'm saying, and how I look at you, seeing that and understanding how serious and dedicated you was on trying to hit the lead, and to see that even though it didn't work out for you like that, to see the accomplishments and the things that you went about doing, like that, the thing you did with Ryan, man, like, man, you guide everybody that was a part of that situation, man, like that truly was a big story. And it's not about it being a big story, but the fact that, like you said, man, helping somebody get back to a point of walking, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though you wasn't actually, in that game playing against them or with them or whatever the case may be, and you wasn't in the lead, it's like, man, like that to me, seeing something like that, man, that's priceless, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? The fact that you was able to do that, and the fact that from my understanding, man, like, I know that y'all boys, you know what I'm saying? So y'all been, knowing each other for the most part,
Right.
so I know that it was genuine, bro. And so hearing all of that, man, it just made me think about, what moms used to say, like, even though if you don't make it, like, you don't know where your journey will take you. You don't know where God will take you, in the sense of still being able to tap in and connecting with the right people. Like you said, doing that with him, like you said, having a coach have his own video about certain stuff when it come down. I've been seeing you train different people, different athletes and stuff, man. I've been seeing you doing camps, a lot of stuff with the youth too. And that's something I always, respected and appreciated, man. You want to talk a little bit about that in regards to the camps and the stuff you do back for the younger generation?
Yeah, so I actually do a number of camps. I do the opening with Nike. So again, pre-COVID, they'll fly me out. We'll do anywhere from 4 to 8 different camps. I'm essentially helping them find the top 300 high school athletes. And then they'll invite them out to Oregon, but now it's in Dallas, but they'll invite them out to Oregon, to the Nike headquarters, and that will be on TV, and they're just showcasing the best of the best. Okay. So I'll do that. I do a number of camps with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're actually emailing back and forth with the Houston Texans because they want me to help them do some things out here also. But most notable, my favorite of them all, is my camp and seminar, which is called The Takeover. And that's down in Fort Lauderdale. It's an annual camp and a seminar that I do. And essentially, we're giving the athletes what they want, which is increased sports performance. So many of them are familiar with my story. They're familiar with some of the athletes I work with. A lot of them follow me on social media. So to them, it's like, oh man, we got this, whatever they want to call me. It's changed all the time. This famous trainer, this guru trainer, this guy that went to our school, whatever they, social media stuff. So whatever name they want to give me that day, they're like, hey, we got this such and such trainer coming down, but we also have these other pro athletes coming down. But most notable, like, I'm giving them what they want, which is increased sports performance, while giving them what they need, which is exposure to a wide array of career paths, because most of them are going to go professional, something other than athletics. So I enjoy the seminar portion where I link up with the local sheriff's department, police department. I bring down collegiate and professional athletes. I bring down people from all types of trades, from private chefs to celebrity barbers, the whole nine. I just want them to know about all the various options that are out there, especially with social media nowadays. So they just know, because a lot of times for me, it was like, I think, and I heard Fred Taylor mention, I've been saying it for a while, but Fred Taylor mentioned it on I Am Athlete podcast, and he kind of made it, he summarized what I was saying for some years, and he said that exposure equals expansion. And I just think that a lot of times, and you probably can attest to the same, being an athlete, you don't become a good athlete without laser focus. I feel you. Right? Yeah. You got to be laser focused to become a good athlete. Oh yeah. But oftentimes that laser focus blocks out a lot of the additional career paths that are out there. People tell you get a plan B is often like a distraction, because you're like, well, I'm focused on plan B. That means I'm not giving everything to plan A. I feel that. So sometimes what happens is you get, you miss out on that exposure. You don't learn what the various career paths and opportunities and different venues that are out there until plan A is robbed away from you, or you finally reached the dead end in plan A. Now you're like, okay, well, I can't do that anymore. So now let me see what else is out there. But I'm big on being proactive as opposed to being reactive. So again, if I can get this kid as a freshman in high school, even middle school, and start putting these thoughts in his mind, now it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yep. I didn't know I can be a chef. I didn't know I can be a a chef and make $450K a year and have a team of people working underneath me. I didn't know I could be a barber and charge $100 a haircut. I didn't know I can own my own mobile detailing place and make $60 a car wash. You know what I mean? Just people, like I said, with the social media world, the youth has it so good where they can literally monetize their passion. Like there are kids playing video games and people are paying to watch you play video games and you making millions of dollars a month. Something you're going to do anyway.
For sure.
But now this is literally anyways. Yeah, this is literally a profession now.
Man, it's interesting, man. Like that's it's crazy because I actually was having a conversation with somebody about that the other day. Like you literally can get to a point to where, like, I saw a kid, I don't know how long ago it was, but I saw a kid teenager kid playing Fortnite, won the Fortnite tournament and literally came up like maybe $5 million. You know what I'm saying? Because he won the tournament. And that's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm you know, take a while, I guess, to say, hey, you know, he got his parents with him, he doing his thing. Man, you had that right guidance and you able to, you know, invest that, you know, do all you need to do when it comes down to that as a young kid doing something that you're passionate about, like you're saying, man, like the sky's the limit with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, 2020 was a hell of a year. We in 2021 now. And it's like, at this point in the game, man, it's so easy to really put yourself out there. It's so easy to kind of, you know, get known for the most part or whatever it is that you have a passion for with doing. It's a way and to connect with people. It's a way to go about actually establishing these relationships to get you to these higher places or into these rooms that you never expected yourself to be in. So it's, you know, and it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely just about, you know, those investments, man. And honestly, man, speaking about that, it's crazy because actually I saw you had made a post earlier today, you know, and your post was saying the best investment is in yourself, you know, health as well. And so it's like, man, you know, like you can't expect others or other people to really put so much into you. Not saying that people won't have that, but if you're not investing that time, that energy, that passion, that grit, you know what I'm saying, into what it is that you got going on, what it is that you're trying to do, it's like you really can't be mad at nobody else but yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to have support, but you know, you can't get mad if you're not necessarily just tapping in. And I could say that and hear myself saying that as well because, and you can, you know, vouch for this as well, bro. Like, and you gave me advice when I was first trying to get started with my brand, when I was first trying to get started with the podcast and different stuff like that. You know, we would talk on the phone for hours about different stuff. You're like, man, just get started, man. Fine. I had that idea, man, just get started, work, put it in, do what it is you need to do. And that's like, nah, and you'll tell me some of the same stuff, or you'll tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, workouts or whatever, you would have saw me slacking up, man, Joe, pick your shit up, man. Like, you know what it is. And it's so, man, living in this time frame, man, is like, and tapping in with stuff like that, it's so interesting to me, man, because I feel like we're at a pivotal point in life to where people can truly go about establishing themselves and actually flourishing rather than feeling like, okay, hey, I have to wait for somebody to give me opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to get opportunities, but you don't have to wait for that.
And I'm glad you said that because I kind of want to twist the knife a little bit and talk a little more about that, touch that pain a little bit more, because I love that you said that, but I think most importantly, like, people need to take a step back and like look themselves in the mirror and be like, who am I really?
I'm with you.
And I think that's something that a lot of athletes deal with because a lot of times, you know, me and you go to, you know, me and you went to a football game and watched some of my athletes, whoever the best kid is on his team, if it's not him, of course, like whoever the best kid is on his team, and we sitting in the stands, you're going to quickly hear a parent say, oh, that kid definitely going to the NFL. He's so good. He's so this, he's so that. So it's like a lot of times people are trying to, like, they're always trying to find something to attach your name to. And then after a while, you start to believe that and you tie your identity to those things. So one day, whether, you know, at some point that thing is going to be removed. And now it's like, who are you really? You know, and I think for everybody, take a step back. Like, what does success mean to you? Because I think a lot of people now with social media, again, bro, and I spoke about it in my book, Joe, we played football. We would create highlight tapes to show college coaches. Right. We only want to put our best of our best so this coach can see our potential and want to learn more about us. It's no different than going out to a restaurant. If the appetizers are phenomenal, we more than like, no, the chance of us buying some food is like at least 80%.
Yeah.
Man, Joe, those wings, oh man, at worst we're gonna get some more of those appetizers at worst.
At worst.
At best, we gonna, yeah, you know what I mean? We want a lot more, you know. So it's the same thing. It's like everybody's putting their highlight tape out there. I've never met anybody that put their eviction notice on social media. I never met anybody that put that bad breakup on social media. Right. I never met nobody that said, hey, my girlfriend dumped me because I was toxic and I didn't want to change, so she left me. You'll never see that. So people aren't putting the real out there. So it's making sure, as Gucci would say, that you don't get lost in the sauce, that you're not falling for the mental aerobics, you know what I mean, of everything going on, because that stuff is draining. So it's like, take a step back and be like, what does success mean to you? You know, I know off the record, we spoke about some different things, you know, like entrepreneurship. How do I feel about it? And I just feel like entrepreneurship is not for everybody. You know, even with a lot of these college athletes getting paid, like, mark my words, in the next 3 years, we're going to see depression rates increase. We're going to see suicide rates increase. We're going to see cases of anxiety triple, because a lot of people feel like money is their problem. Joe, I've never met a person in my life with a money problem. Never. That goes from family, bro. Joe, I grew up poor.
Bro. You can say that again,
bro. Poor. I've been homeless, like the whole nine, you name it, bro. Numerous times, not just like, I'm not talking about stay at grandma's house for a week, and I'm talking about homeless shelter for months, like, So, but there, as you get older, there comes a level of accountability. I can look back at my loved ones and say, she didn't have an accountability problem. I mean, she didn't have a money problem. There was a priority problem. There was a discipline problem. You know, all the various things that we spoke about today, as you mentioned, like, why should I support your podcast or support your shirts, your brand? If you making it seem like a hobby or just something for you, yeah, I might buy it once. But if you come up with 10 colors, why should I buy 5 of them? Just buying it because I know you, and just because we ran a couple sprints together, that don't. What's gonna make me really want it? And this, like, you know, keeping it real as it get, like, So I just kind of feel like, you know, taking it back a step, it's like, what does success mean to you? I know I kind of went off a little bit, but just like, what does success mean to you, to everybody, and then go for that, because the world gonna tell you, like social media, oh, you need to be an entrepreneur. If you work in a job, you work in a 9 to 5. But bro, I know people who are entrepreneurs and never retired. I know people who work 9 to 5s and retired at 50. So it's all relative to what you want. Everybody, like,
about what you want.
That's the problem with our generation. They make it seem like being like Joe, when it comes to entrepreneur, like, everybody wants to be the boss until it's time to pay taxes and pay their staff.
Hey, for real.
Like, something that everybody's familiar with is, let's go back to grade school, right? Elementary school, middle school, whatever, like you want to call it. I don't know about you, but I was the line leader, Joe.
Oh yeah.
I was big general back then. You know, I was always the leader.
Yes, sir.
So for me,
yes, sir.
Everybody want to be the leader, right?
Yeah.
But the line leader walk last. The line leader holds the door and let everybody else go. Let the teacher, let everybody else go, and then they go last. That's entrepreneurship, Joe.
Be on that.
If I got 10 employees, a good boss isn't saying, we made X amount of dollars, I'm taking my money first, and I'm gonna shortchange everybody else.
Right.
I'm gonna find myself in some legal trouble, because if I'm doing any good business, these people have contracts, these people have certain agreements that we agree to. So if I gotta pay myself less this month, I don't get paid at all, that's a personal problem. Because I gotta pay, you know, all of my overhead expenses, I gotta pay my staff, you know, I got operating costs, I got taxes, all those things. You know, so I think so it's like, people got to take a step back. Like, what does success mean to you? And give it all you got for that. Give it all you got. You don't have to, like, and that's what I'm saying, like, this NCAA stuff, when these athletes start getting paid, because there's a lot of athletes right now that grew up to similar upbringings like us that feel like money was always the problem. Yeah. And then they're going to get money now, and they're going to realize they're still unhappy, because if you don't, man, every athlete needs to sit down. It's all about the heart. Like J. Cole says, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours.
Yeah, that's
no
good.
such thing. Yeah. So I think people, you know, taking it a spiritual realm, people better take a step back and figure out who or whatever I believe in, whether it's God, Buddha, Allah, the universe, the moon, the sun, this coyote outside, whatever the case may be. Yeah. Find something bigger than yourself, because that's the only way you get real peace. Nothing on earth to give you peace. Not long term. Not a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, not a job promotion. None of that. Joe, they can give you a job promotion making 5 times what you make right now. In 3 weeks, you're gonna find something else. Like, dang.
Like, damn, like,
okay,
some other shit that money ain't even gonna do that.
Money, like, Joe, you know there's the number infinity sign for a reason, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It don't stop.
Money never stops.
It don't stop.
It never stops. That's why they created the number infinity.
Right. That's crazy.
They pay you $500K a year, you're gonna feel like, all it's gonna take is to do your research and realize the guy at Grambling getting 800.
Yeah,
Now you hit him up on LinkedIn. Hey, my name is Josiah Freeman. I want to know, I want to know if we can get together for lunch. I would love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. It's interesting, man. Like, especially putting it, and looking at it from that lens, man. Looking at it from like, with everything that you were sharing, bro. It's like, if you don't fix them internal problems, like, it's just gonna make you more of who you are. I heard that. I forgot exactly who said that, man. But I heard.
Or I know how you try. I can't word it exactly, but in so many words, it's like
money don't change you.
Exposes who you are.
Yeah, it make you more of who you are, man. Yeah. If you don't, like you said earlier, if you somebody who don't have their priorities intact and you get $500 million, just because you got $500 million in your bank doesn't mean that how you handle priorities is the best way to go about doing it. Or if you're dealing with stuff mentally, which we all deal with stuff mentally, emotionally, I get it. But if as a person, man or woman, whatever the case may be, inside what you got going on, what you're dealing with, what I'm saying, for the most part, to where, it's some issues. We know as people, it's some issues that we have about ourselves that we've worked on, overcame, or we have to continue to still work on. And if we don't do that, man, you drop $1 billion in my account, that ain't gonna, I'm gonna be a billionaire, but I'm gonna be a billionaire who is still the same the day before that we had all of this stuff that I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta, similar to a relationship, like you gotta be whole before those things. Those things are only, like, Joe, we both played college sports. After the workout, what are we going to do? What are we going to grab out the fridge? A supplement, a protein shake, right?
Yeah.
So all those things are supplements to being whole first. We complete by ourselves, and these things just giving us an extra boost. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that money isn't important. I'm not going to say that shelter isn't. All those things are important, and all those things have their role. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not. I'm not one of those people that money doesn't matter. It does. It matters a lot.
It matters a lot. Yeah, it does. Definitely matters.
We're not going to even. Yeah, we're not going to fake the funk with that one. But
right.
I will say that it's not everything.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not everything.
Money shouldn't make or break you.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to your integrity, in regards to your character, in regards to like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, the statement we're kind of struggling to put into words, money should only enhance that more. If you find somebody with a good heart who's doing great things, like when I got more money, like, being an entrepreneur and doing all these different things,
mm-hmm.
I just blessed more people. I started doing more camps, doing more events, doing more, doing things like that.
Yeah.
Writing books, doing things to kind of expand my voice. But there's other people who will get money and now it's all about them, or now it's like screw everybody, or now, so it's, as you mentioned, man, money just exposes more of who you are.
It just exposes you more of who you are, man. Especially like, man, with all of that being tied in, man, like, man, about, man, money, the disappointments, the ups and downs, man, like, it brings me to my next topic, man. And I wanted to get your viewpoints, when it comes down to balance, bro. Like, I want to get viewpoints when it comes down to, like, how do you balance, like, work, your life? How do you balance all of these different things that you have going on, that you overcame? Like what would you like to share when it comes down to balance?
I don't believe in the word balance. I write the vision. I make it plain. I've over the years, I've learned that everything boils down to priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something one of my mentors taught me, is just all about priorities.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh man, I need to work on balancing this, balancing that, balancing it. Because at the time, my clientele was picking up and I wasn't getting the time to work out myself as much as I would like. Mm-hmm. And he said, you don't have a balance problem. He said, you just haven't made working out yourself a priority. And it happens all the time, even in the fitness world, right? Similar to, the post I made today, your best investment is in yourself, health as well. If I told you the number of people that schedule consultations and like, hey, I have X amount of dollars. I have a really nice profession. I got all this trust funds, all this money set aside. I'm making X amount from real estate. But the doctor just mentioned that they're going to put me on insulin because my health, my blood pressure is bad. My insulin is too high. Or the doctor is giving me 30 days to live if I don't change this. Or, hey, the doctor said I may have cancer, or I got to get a triple bypass surgery and all. I never met a person like on their deathbed who's like, I wish I had more money.
Right, yeah.
Anybody who's dying is going to always tell you, I wish I spent more time with family. I wish I took my health more serious. And, there may be one or two other things in between that, but it's always going to usually boil down to those one or two things.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's, I just think it's all about priority. And I actually had this talk with someone earlier who's a parent. I'm not a parent at the moment. And she's like, it is balance. It is balance. I said, no, it's not. I said, okay, you and I could be on the phone talking about stuff that has to do with training while you're home, right? She's like, yeah. I said, let's say we're putting together a certain workout together. And out of nowhere, your baby starts crying. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, right? And now you notice that he's by the outlet. Nothing that we talked about is important anymore. I gotta call you back. Oh my God, I gotta call you back. I'll call you back. That's not work-life balance. That's priorities, because now your priorities have shifted because you're concerned about your baby.
I'm with you on that.
If your mom call you right now, or your dad, somebody text you and say, your mom's in the hospital, Joe, or such and such just got shot, or something extreme, you're gonna cut it short. Hey, 40, man, I love you, bro. We got to make up. We can do whatever, but I got to get up out of here. I just got a text about X, Y, and Z. So it's all about priority. It's not about balance. Balance is a myth. Balance, when people use balance, it usually boils down to a lack of accountability. Balance is a myth. It's all about priorities. And the most common one is work-life balance. When I'm home, my priority is home. I spend time with my girlfriend. We eat dinner together, whatever the case may be. We have date nights, whatever the case may be. That's my priority. If a client texts me and I wanted to respond back at that time, I do, but I'm never in a hurry to. But her and I also got an understanding that when I'm at work, she's not the priority when I'm at work. My priority at work is giving these clients a return on their investment. So sure, she can text me, she can call me, but if it's not an emergency, we got certain insider codes and stuff that we use that she'll text me if it's an emergency, and I know, okay, hey, 1 second, I may see it on the Apple Watch and I know it's a true emergency. But anything outside of that, she's not like, I text you 3 hours ago, why didn't you text me back? She knows you weren't the priority right now. My priority were these clients. But when I'm home, she's the priority. So everything has its role in its place. Balance is a myth. I
feel you on that. No, I definitely feel you on that for sure. It definitely makes sense, man. And listen to everything that you were saying, bro. It makes me bang, and shout out to Coleman, man. Like one of my, if not my favorite athlete, to be honest with you, man. Like my dog, rest in peace. One thing that I saw an interview with him when he was talking about different things, man. And he also said something similar to what it is that you were sharing, man. And he was like, man, even if you had an injury, you could have torn your hamstring or whatever the case may be. If you sitting in the house and that house catch on fire and your wife and kids is in there, he was like, man, I bet you your last dollar, you're going to forget about your hamstring being torn. You're going to go up there. You're going to find you're going to make sure that your kid's safe. So, I can definitely understand when it comes down to like, you're not going to try to balance that out in a sense of, man,
you're not going to say,
go save.
Wait 1 second. Let me take the ice pack off because my hamstring's a little sore. Like,
yeah, you're not going to be thinking that in that time.
Just deal with the consequences later on. Like, if I got to get surgery, so be it. My family's safe. We'll buy another house. We'll call it insurance, whatever.
You're going to figure it out. Shit, yeah, man. It's all about them priorities, man. I'm with you, man. It's definitely all about, just making sure what it is that you actually are focused on. What it is that you're actually in tune with. What are you willing to actually go about doing? What are you willing to sacrifice, man?
But another thing I want to talk about, if you don't mind, while we're on the topic of priorities, I think people have to realize that there's a difference between priorities and priority, singular, right? So I think oftentimes people screw up because there's not a clear understanding of the current priority, right? So it's like,
explain that.
Yeah, like think about it, Joe. Like I always like to use athletics, right? You can't say my priority right now is getting a 3.0, going to summer school, doing this, getting my car fixed, going to workouts, enrolling in 18 hours this fall, running track with the track team, doing soccer, doing it. Like you can't have 17 priorities and think that you're going to be good at all of them. It's all about priority, and not saying that you can't have separate priority, singular. So you can have 5 priorities and everything has a certain time. For example, if you have an 8 o'clock class, and let's just say it's calculus and you're struggling in this class, your priority at that moment is not running 17 sprints with the football strength coach. That's not your priority. Your priority right now is, let me take my notes, let me study this class, and make sure I'm sitting in the front row, and make sure the professor knows my name, and make sure I have an understanding of both previous and current, assignments, homework, etc. That's your priority. Now, once you leave there, now your priority might switch. Now I'm going to the cafeteria. I'm going to the MSC. Now my priority is filling my body with the right things that I need to make it through this next workout and recover for upcoming workouts. Now, after you eat there, your priority can shift again into something else. So it's all like a singular thing, but you can't have 12 priorities for the same moment. You're destined to fail.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like, burn yourself out. You're going to burn yourself out trying to do everything all at once.
Everybody we know that's a father. I've never met a father whose kid is giving birth and they're at the hospital and their kid is giving birth. Their priority is making sure that the kid is delivered safely and their wife is good. Like, that's their priority. And whether they admit it or not, their wife isn't even the priority, if we're going to be honest.
Nah,
while the woman is giving birth, if we're going to be honest, while a woman is giving birth, the priority is the kid. Now, once the kid is okay, hey, baby, you did such a good job. I love you. And we're being honest. Like Northern says, nobody cares about the labor. They only want to see the baby.
They only want to see the baby. Nah, it's crazy that you bring that actual example up too, because you know, a lot of times I've seen instances to where sometimes women don't, you know, like I know legit medical stories to where women was like, hey, it's a possibility that you may pass away during this pregnancy or during this birth, but your child, you know, we're gonna do everything to make sure your child good. And I've seen a lot of women like, hey,
make my child.
If I gotta go and my child is okay, then as long as my child is delivered and we straight, we good. I you know what I'm saying? I know some people that happened to. I know some people who unfortunately, you know, passed away like that too. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, you know what I'm saying? And that's a interesting, you know, example to go about using. And like you said, man, it is don't nobody care, like Coach say, don't nobody care about, you know what I'm saying, the labor. They just want to see the
labor. They only want to see the baby.
They just want to see the baby, you know what I'm saying? So
woman's been in labor for 24 hours. She's getting wrinkles on her face. She's drinking endless amounts of water. Her eyes look like she haven't slept in 12 days. And you may ask her, hey, you okay? You okay? Just hang in there. Just hang in there. But truthfully, you just want to make sure the baby's okay.
You just want to make
sure. You don't care about the labor and how she was going through the cramps and had to take the epidural and all these various other things. You want to see the baby. Everybody cares about the results, the end game.
And then y'all about to say it, and that's all people really be trying to tap into, man. But we got to keep doing what we doing, man. And, you know, to really, you know, and that's why I feel like conversations like this are important, bro. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like we can talk about and see the transparency when it comes down to the work. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the behind the scenes, when it comes down to the bad times, when it comes down to, like you said, nobody's gonna put up their eviction notice on their social media. You know what I'm saying? Let's not saying you got to put your business out there, but let's talk about the you know the bad stuff. Let's talk about all of that stuff that people just don't be trying to, you know, talk about and discuss nowadays. Or if you try to have these conversations with certain people, either they may not understand it, you know what I'm saying? They may not interpret what it is that you're trying to deliver at certain times, or they may just not want to hear anything that somebody got to say. So, you know, that's why I feel like, you know, things like just not only what we doing, man, just what we doing to give back, different people that we know that's doing their things, man, like positivity, something that's just going to enhance people, you know, to make people better, man. I'm all for that. That's part of the reason why I created my platform, man, to just tap in, you know, and shine that light on, you know, a lot of different people, man, and a lot of different stuff that's going on in the world, and a lot of different people that's actually, you know, tapped in and doing a lot of positive stuff. You know, we could talk about, you know, excuse my language, but, you know, we could talk about a lot of bullshit that's going on, you know what I'm saying? But how is that collectively adding value to yourself? You know what I'm saying? How are you investing in yourself? You know what I'm saying? How are you looking yourself in the mirror and understanding what's your why? What's your purpose? Like, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Not for somebody else, but just in a sense of, like, why am I here? You know, what it is that I truly want to do. Not because what I want society that, you know, what how I think society wants me to be or anything of that nature. It's like, what do I really want to do in life? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it come down to the individuals, man, to see how strong they are as an individual, to see how far you're willing to actually dedicate yourself with just locking in and doing everything that you need to do for your brand, man, and making those sacrifices. So it's definitely great points, man. It's definitely great points, man. Bro, I definitely appreciate everything, man. And, you know, before we wrap it up, man, I just, you know, I know we done had a lot of good stuff that a lot of people can take from this, man. And I just want to say, do you have any advice, anything that you may want to share with the people, you know, before, you know, we do wrap it up?
I would just say, man, just don't shy away from investing in yourself. Mm-hmm. That's going to always be your best investment. I would say don't despise small beginnings. Similar to what I told you, man, Joe, there's nothing wrong with if you look at Jeff Bezos from Amazon, this dude was in his garage for about 20 years before, now Amazon be at my house more than I do. You know what I mean? Between my girlfriend, every time I come home, it's 5 packages outside. I don't know where she getting all this money from, but that's a whole nother story.
I feel
but, like, don't despise small beginnings, and for people our age, I think I challenge everyone our age, young millennials will just say that. Take a step back, man, and look up these names. Look up Kevin Hart. Look up Charlie Murphy. Look up Dave Chappelle. Look up Steve Harvey. Look up Tyler Perry. Look up J. Cole. Look into all these people, man. Go listen to their stories on YouTube. A lot of these people who we're comparing ourselves to. Look up Taraji P. Henderson. She moved to California with $700 and a baby, and now she's a phenom. She's a household name. So look at a lot of these people who, and really see their story. And a lot of times I think with social media, we're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. We 25, we 28. It's kids who I train who 18 and mad because they're not making $75K a year. And I'm not, and it's just head scratching to me, like, dude, are you kidding me? But because again, that goes back to what we spoke about earlier. But if we do our research and really, really see, like, it takes time. Greatness takes time. And a lot of times when you do get to that next level, you're gonna look back and be like, man, I thank God that you didn't get, or whoever you believe in. I believe in God, so that's what I'm gonna stand on. That's just me though. Sure. But you're gonna look back and be like, man, I thank God that you didn't give me what I wanted when I wanted, because Lord knows I would have,
Yeah.
I would have ruined it. I would have damaged
it. Wouldn't be ready for it at the time, possibly.
Yeah. So I think I would say, invest in yourself. Don't despise small beginnings. Don't be afraid to start. Don't worry about what others got to say about it. They're going to talk about you good or bad. Look at Floyd Mayweather. This dude beat up everybody he ever fought, and they still find things to say about him. Yeah. Look at LeBron James. He built the same chick since high school. He give back to his city. He done won numerous championships. He helped all his best friends, literally all 5 of them, become multimillionaires, and they still find negative things to say about him. So if you plan on doing anything great in life, be cool with people having stuff to say about you. Yeah. And then other than that, I would say, man, and this probably should have been first, but take some time and really ask yourself, like, who am I? Then ask yourself, okay, now that I said who am I, like, who am I really? Then ask yourself, who am I really? In the same order, like, who am I? Yeah. Who am I really? Now, who am I really? And then, like, go from there, because again, life is it's mental gymnastics. They're always trying to attach your name to something, always trying to tell you, oh, you're Josiah the football player. No, I'm not. Right. I'm Josiah the child of God who happens to be good athletic, who happens to play football for a certain duration of my life. And I'm also going to be an excellent father. I'm also going to be an excellent husband. I'm also going to be an avid educator in the community, helping uplift the youth and create additional leaders of tomorrow. Don't just let them box you into just that one category. And that's what society is good for doing.
And
then, like I said, just find, and last thing, just find something bigger than you. You're going to need it. You're going to need it, especially if you plan on doing anything great. You're going to need it. Spend some time. Like I said, man, look in that mirror. Who am I? Who am I really? And who am I really? And allow God to order your steps. That's the only way you're going to find true peace and happiness.
Man, yes, sir, man. I appreciate that, man. I truly do, bro. Man, you definitely have shared a lot, man. I definitely feel like a lot of stuff that we've been talking about, people can, come back, listen to it, watch it, man, and take whatever they take from it, and that's all I really want to see people go about doing. Take, what you can take from this. Take, whatever type of gem, whatever type of understanding, whatever type of example, whatever type of whatever that you can use from this conversation, from, the video, man, just apply it, find your calling,
right.
Apply it to who it is that you're trying to do and what you're trying to go about doing, man. Like, and I speak about that a lot all the time, man, like, with my different episodes too. So I, the people that know, what I'm saying, know how I'm tapped in, but, man.
Some of my athletes, I'm sorry, some of my athletes, that's exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them to chew the meat and throw the bone, right? So no one person knows everything, but if I had a dog or a pet and I threw some chicken to them, they're gonna get all the meat off it, take everything that's good, and I look for that bone in a couple hours. It's underneath the dirt somewhere, or they don't kicked it and moved it out the way. So take what you feel is necessary, take what's good, take what you need, aka the meat, and disregard the bone. All right, cool, I got the meat, I'm full, I'm hungry, I got what I needed. Nobody knows everything. There may have been just 12 seconds of what I said that really resonate with you.
Yeah.
And if so, I'm just grateful that I'm able to provide that sort of value to you, whether it's 2 seconds or 20 minutes. That's just, that's what I'm here to do, impact other people. So,
Man, that's live, man. That's live. I'm with you, man. Hey, look, so for the people that don't know, man, let the people know how they can follow you, man. Like, man, the websites, man, the merch, whatever you got going on, man, let the people know what's good.
Okay, so my website is www.train, TRAIN, dynamic, DYNAMIC. The letter P as in Paul, D as in Dolphin. So that's www.traindynamicpd.com. So from there, you can learn more about my fitness services. I do a number of speaking engagements. You can order a copy of my best-selling novel. I'm actually signing all the copies right now. I'm sending out signed copies at no additional charge for the rest of the month of July.
I don't know if they can see it, but I got my signed copy. I got my signed. Hey, it's legit. I don't know if they can see it, but it's
somewhere. I know it's there. So yeah, I'm doing signed copies for the rest of this month at no additional charge. If anybody's out there serious about, it's ready to take on that next challenge with their fitness journey, get in the best shape of their life, get rid of pain. If you're trying to lose fat, reduce pain, and achieve goals you once viewed as unattainable, your search ends here. So you can also schedule your consultation there. For your fitness services, as you mentioned, I have fitness apparel. You can grab your apparel on there as well. Also, I can be found on all the social media platforms. On LinkedIn, you can find me under Jerome Howard, JeromeHoward. Instagram is at dynamic, DYNAMIC _PD, P as in Paul, D as in Dolphin. The Twitter is at dynamic, DYNAMIC _DPD, dog, Paul, dog. And then the Facebook is at dynamic, DYNAMIC PD. That's all one word there. There's no underscore for the Facebook.
There it is, man. Hey, there it is. And I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, man, when we drop, and also put it in the video, man, it's gonna be on the screen somewhere, man. All of the information, everything that we need, all of the links that we good. And we're gonna make sure that everything's straight, man. Again, bro, I truly do, and I genuinely mean this, man. I want to take the time out to say, bro, hey, I appreciate you, man. I want to definitely, give you your flowers while you're here, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't just saying this because we're on the show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm really, inspired about what you got going on. I really appreciate your journey, bro. And I just want to say, man, keep going, man. I pray God continue to bless you, your family, man, like everybody that's close to you, man, your journey, bro. Your business, man, your mental, your physical, your spirit, bro. I pray nothing but positivity and blessings towards your way. And I truly mean that, bro. And so I thank you for taking the time to just tap in with me.
Absolutely. So, thank you for the opportunity.
Nah, for sure, man. So, hey, with that being said, man, hey, we're not locked in. Hey, another episode of The Genuine Effect, man. I appreciate that. Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. It's your host, Joe, and we out. Yes, sir.